I've always thought of the Celestials like the ocean. They give life and they take life away without bias. If they were gone, this universe would eventually end.
Welcome back, Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy. Come on, ever since the Eternals came out, you knew we were going to make this video. So let's do this. Ikaris was right.
You're goddamn right.
Eternals raise some fascinating questions about humanity's role in the universe and the meaning of life. The most interesting character in the movie is Ikarus. Now, whether you see him as the villain, the anti-villain, or even the anti-hero, Ikarus is one of the most captivating characters that I've ever seen in the MCU. Ikarus was devoted to Arisham's grand design, believing that Earth must be sacrificed to give birth to Tiamat. Now, it's not about what's ethical or fair, it's about preserving the cosmic harmony of the universe. The Celestials are the source of existence. They create suns, which then give life to whole galaxies. Without them, all things die. So with that in mind, is it really so insurmountable to say that Ikaris was right? Well, maybe, or maybe not.
Our universe is a constant exchange of energy, an infinite cycle of creation and destruction.
So let's begin by going over what actually motivates Ikarus' decisions. For 7,000 years, the Eternals served a purpose on Earth, protecting humanity from the deviants. However, their true purpose was to eliminate the deviants from Earth so the world's population would thrive. Then our brain energy would feed Tiamat, the celestial growing in Earth's core. All of this leads to the Emergence, the event where Tiamat was meant to be born, destroying Earth in the process. Tiamat's birth means the end of all life on our planet, but it's also the beginning of countless new lives all around the universe. Tiamat would go on to create stars that would allow life to flourish in new galaxies. This is the cold yet necessary circle of life in the universe. In the grand scale of the cosmos, what is the value of one planet compared to an entire galaxy, where the number of stars far exceeds every human on Earth? Ikarus believes that no life in the universe is as valuable as the Celestials, because they are the ones who cultivate all life in the universe. Sacrificing a Celestial puts that cosmic harmony in jeopardy. This is why Ikarus goes against the other Eternals when they decide to prevent Tiamat's birth. Now, one of the reasons Ikarus wasn't able to change was because he was too stuck in his ways. You can't do the same thing every day for a few thousand years. I mean, you'll become rigid. For instance, I love snacks, and I'm always wanting to try something new. I mean, there's an entire world of good food out there that I just don't have access to here in the United States. So I'm glad that I found Boxu. This is a really fun, delicious snack subscription service that brings me original assortments of Japanese snacks, and they're the sponsor of this video. So before I go on, I'm not lying about this. I love this sample box so much that I signed up for the service right away. So here's how it works. Every month they send you a box straight from Japan with a wide variety of snacks, and they send you a book that tells you exactly what each snack is, and they show you exactly where in Japan your thing comes from. Now, I love this because it means that I'm not just eating random snacks, I actually know what I'm eating. So this box is called The Seasons of Japan. In particular, I really like these red bean crackers and these sticky rice dumplings. I'm gonna try this for the very first time. Let's see what it is. White strawberry. This is the world's first chocolate-infused strawberry, oh god, yeah, produced exclusively for Boxu. Oh my god, that's delicious. Really good. So I highly recommend using this. It's fun and delicious. Use the code SCREENCRUSH10 and click the link in the description to get 10% off your authentic Japanese subscription from Boxu. Back to Ikarus. Sprite and Kingo were the only Eternals who agreed with Ikarus, but for all his talk, Kingo was not willing to go all the way and fight for what he believed in.
I still think Ikarus is right.
Now, Sprite stood by Ikarus, though it's unclear if she did that because she truly believed in the Celestials' grand plan or because she was his Tinkerbell. Ikarus could be described as a utilitarian. Ikarus believes that the death of everyone on Earth is a necessary sacrifice for the grand design of the Celestials.
Logic clearly dictates that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
But the other Eternals choose the moral path, where they refuse to be directly involved in the death of everyone on the planet.
Every time innocent lives have been sacrificed for the greater good, it turns out to be a mistake.
They are motivated by strong ethics and love for humanity. They believe that life must be protected above any other ethical concerns. This is why they chose to save humanity and be responsible for the most bizarre abortion ever.
These are confusing times.
To be fair, their first intention was only to put Tiamat to sleep and only to delay the emergence. They even suggest finding humanity a new home on another planet, letting Tiamat rise without killing anyone.
Are we building a big ship too? Take a pair of each animal?
However, they end up killing Tiamat and indirectly snuffing out all the life he would have created.
If you stop this emergence, you are preventing so many other worlds like this one from being created.
The debate about killing someone before they even existed is pretty convoluted. But we do know that the Marvel Universe is filled with all types of sentient life, and that there are countless Earth-like planets in our own galaxy. In fact, the universe is apparently so overcrowded that a certain mad titan decided to cut it in half. Tiamat would have created more of that life, more stars and galaxies. By saving one planet, the Eternals interfered with the cosmic balance and prevented trillions of lives from ever forming. Not to mention that in the end, Sersei had the energy from the Unimind, which allowed her to turn Tiamat into marble. And what did she do with this incredible cosmic power? She made Sprite a human, instead of, using that energy to bring Tiamat back to life without sacrificing Earth, or using that energy to create a star or something. Well, at least Sprite's a real girl now. That makes up for all those trillions of lives that'll never be created.
I'm a real boy!
And these same ethical conflicts keep coming up in the MCU. Tony believed in protection at all costs, while Steve fought for freedom. Freedom versus predetermination was the main theme of Loki. Spider-Man clashed with Doctor Strange over saving 5 villains that were meant to die versus protecting the whole universe. And as we explored in this video, it all comes down to this. Doing the heroic thing is certainly the right and moral thing to do, but it's not always the smart thing to do.
If we gave humanity the choice, how many of them would be willing to die so that billions more could be born?
So was Ikarus really that wrong when he trusted Arisham's grand design? It might be a less moral decision, but what is morality really? The ethical rules that we follow are things that we created over thousands of years. The idea of right and wrong is embedded in us, like a source code, but our morality is exclusive to us as a species. Can we really expect other beings in the universe to follow the same moral codes that we created here on Earth? Not to mention that our ethics are conveniently fluid. People ignore their moral compass whenever it suits them.
Your kind, my friend. You will be responsible for your own extinction one day, don't you think?
I think we must learn from our mistakes and do better, sir.
That doesn't make us evil or anything like that. We're human, flawed, complicated monkeys. So what gives us the right to enforce our morality on beings that predate the entire universe? Cosmic gods that created our sun, nay, our entire galaxy. Who are we to say what the Celestials are doing is morally wrong? Now, I'm not trying to sound like a nihilist.
Billy doesn't care about anything. He's a nihilist.
If we're being fair, many of the other aliens in the universe seem to follow the same ethical codes. So maybe humanity's capacity for good transcends space and time and is a far more powerful force in the universe.
Humans are odd, but there is grace in their failings. I think you missed that.
For the Celestials, humanity is but a cog in an intricate cosmic machine. Humans were assigned to help create new Celestials. The emergence means that all sentient life on Earth has fulfilled its cosmic purpose. Now, while Ikarus may seem like a utilitarian, his worldview actually fits the philosophy proposed by Friedrich Nietzsche. There is a quote that perfectly describes Ikarus's beliefs in the Celestials. Nietzsche said, "We are buds on a single tree. What can we know about what can become of us from the interest of the tree? Stop feeling oneself as this fantastic ego. Learn gradually to discard the supposed individual. Get beyond myself and yourself. Experience cosmically." The tree here represents the entire universe. We are all part of it as a collective. Because of that, we must think in terms of serving something greater than ourselves. This is how Ikarus sees all life. He and everyone else are in service of the Celestials, who are in turn in service to the universe, all working in conjunction to ensure the continuity of life, unbiased and indifferent.
A harmony of mathematical precision.
And yes, in the process, many lives are unfortunately sacrificed. But this worldview does devalue the meaning of human life, making us into nothing more than a resource. And as sentient beings, we are so much more than that. But that's how humanity was created in the first place, as a result of a sacrifice of another planet that gave birth to the Celestial that created our galaxy. And this is how life was created throughout our own universe. Take the dinosaurs, for example. If the dinosaurs didn't go extinct, it's highly unlikely that humans would have ever evolved on Earth. That asteroid was the death of countless lives, but it was also the source of countless more lives that came after. Everyone you've ever loved, any meal you've ever enjoyed, any Screen Crush video you ever liked, you can thank the death of millions of dinosaurs. And the same goes with supernovas. An exploding star is one of the most devastating events in the universe. Supernovas destroy everything for millions of miles around, but they also release massive amounts of matter that will later serve as the building blocks to other planets, suns, systems, galaxies, and even life.
The end of one life is the beginning of another.
When it comes to the inner workings of the universe, there are no ethics. Space is indifferent on a scale that we could never understand. And who knows what a can of worms the Eternals just opened by killing Tiamat. The universe is always expanding, forever racing toward entropy.
The universe itself keeps on expanding and expanding in all of the directions it can whiz.
Gravity and expansion are in a constant tug of war. As the universes keep expanding, galaxies move further away from each other, creating endless dark voids. And over time, the gravity of star systems will unravel as our universe will go dark and freeze. This is the reason why the Celestials keep forming stars, because their gravity holds whole star systems and galaxies together. This heat staves off the freezing death of the universe.
Rage. Rage against the dying of the light.
That means that by killing Tiamat, the Eternals just created a catastrophic domino effect. So imagine this sinking ship scenario. There are holes everywhere on a ship, and only a limited amount of people can patch them. One person can only work on a few holes at a time. But as more water comes in, the ship sinks faster. If one of the people drowns, that dooms everyone on the ship because there are not enough people to patch the holes. The water coming in is the entropy that threatens to end the universe. The Celestials patch the holes with stars, generating heat and gravity. So long as they do that, they prevent the ship from sinking, preventing the universe from freezing. But now, one of them is dead, forcing another Celestial to take Tiamat's place. And, as we just established in our sinking ship allegory, that could doom everyone, because there might not be enough Celestials in the universe to patch all the holes anymore. Arisham's system with the embryo planets means that every new Celestial will be born in a specific cosmic order, so the next Celestial after Tiamat might not be ready to hatch yet. And all the other Celestials in the universe are probably busy creating new star systems of their own. And remember, while the Celestials are referred to as cosmic gods, they are not all-powerful or omnipotent. Arisham can't just snap his fingers and create a new Celestial to fill Tiamat's role. If that was possible, then that whole system of sentient life sacrifice wouldn't even be necessary. The Celestials needed the Eternals to eliminate the Deviants because they couldn't do it for themselves, for some reason. And clearly, they weren't able to stop Thanos despite him putting their plans in disastrous danger twice.
Thanos erased half of the population of the universe, delayed the emergence.
But even if Tiamat's death isn't as catastrophic on the grand cosmic scale, there is something else to consider. The Eternals evolved beyond their purpose. They rebelled against their creator. That's a good thing for the Eternals and free will, but it's a bad omen for the universe. Because the Deviants also evolved past their original task. They also rebelled against their creators and threatened the birth of future Celestials by preying on the lives of seed planets. Now, considering that the Eternals and the Deviants are basically made from the same cloth, this means that other Eternals could follow in the path of those on Earth and rebel against Celestials, preventing other emergences. This means that no new Celestials will be born and the universe will very quickly fall into entropy. As humans, we'll always be in support of free will prevailing against determinism. But in the grand scale of the universe, there is a genuine risk here.
But there was a flaw in their design. They evolved, became predators themselves, and I lost control of them. Without us, our universe will fall into darkness.
But still, we have to address Ikarus's blind faith in the Celestials.
I'm an Eternal, Fastos. I exist for Arisham.
History is filled with people who followed religions without any question, committing heinous crimes in the name of their faith. The same goes for people who followed their leaders with the same blind fanaticism. Such extremism is always dangerous, even if people think they're acting for the greater good.
We're just like the soldiers down there. Pawns to their leaders. Blinded by loyalty.
The Eternals begins with this almost biblical passage, which turned out to be filled with lies and half-truths. These words serve as a kind of source code for the Eternals, something they were programmed to believe as their purpose. But, as it was revealed, Arisham concealed the truth from all the Eternals except for Ajak.
You are a liar! No, I'm not!
Ikarus never even spoke with Arisham. Ajak was the one who told him the true nature of their mission. And yet, Ikarus still followed blindly, never questioning the word of his god. But why did Ereshkigal lie in the first place? Why give the Eternals free will but lie about their true mission? Was Ereshkigal worried that the Eternals would rebel like the Deviants? In that case, why reveal the truth to Ajax and Sersei at all if it was meant to be kept a secret? Why not just make the truth part of the Eternal source code, a command they can't go against? Was it all some kind of test, a way for Ereshkigal to find flaws in his process? Or was Ereshkigal so arrogant to believe that the Eternals would just follow the grand design without question? If that is the case, then I ask again, what was the point of this deceit in the first place? The fact that Ereshkigal lied puts everything else into question. Because, what if the whole thing is a farce and the Celestials don't actually create stars and save the universe? What if the emergence is about something else entirely? The other Celestial we met wanted to terraform the whole universe in his image. And we saw a recording of another Celestial who wiped out an entire planet. So maybe these so-called cosmic gods are just space devils.
The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
Ikarus never stops to think about any of this, despite knowing the truth for about 500 years. The same goes for the other Eternals, even when they go against Ereshkigal. None of them actually question why Ereshkigal would have lied to them. They still believe in everything they were told. But in Ikarus's case, his blind faith in the Celestials makes him a religious zealot.
What?
His devotion allowed him to justify killing Ajax, all for the grand plan.
I've led you down the wrong path.
It's the only path I know.
Now, despite Ikarus's devotion to the Celestials, he does end up choosing life over faith. He can't bring himself to kill Sersei, letting her turn Tiamat into marble. Loving Sersei for thousands of years is more powerful than his faith in Ereshkigal and the fate of the universe. Honestly, that's really beautiful.
Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space.
This inability to make the sacrifice proves how morality is rooted in humanity, because the Eternals adopted the ethics of humanity. Even Ikarus did this, and he was the most detached from humankind.
I'm sorry. I know.
Alright, look, I know this video has been really bleak, so let's finish things on a more hopeful note. Despite all the grand universal plans, humanity is worth saving. Humans have proven to be one of the most important beings in all of reality. It was humanity that undid Thanos' snap, and it was a human who then saved the whole universe. A human is currently protecting all of reality. Another human possesses the most powerful magic in the universe, and it was a human, with no powers at all, who saved the multiverse and created the sacred timeline.
Ages and ages of cosmic harmony, hence...
You're welcome.
Humans are at the center of all the conflicts in the universe, and so far, humanity has made the universe a safer place. The truth is that the Celestials need humanity a hell of a lot more than they need Tiamat, especially in the conflicts yet to come. So in the end, Ikarus might have been wrong, and Ajax was the one who was right after all.
This planet and these people, the cost of Eresham's design, it's not worth it. Not this time.
That was a lot. Some really dense stuff to think about. But what do you think about all this? Who was right in the end? Let me know down in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.